Good evening, Facets. It's Tuesday, August 14th, and I'm in my new messy apartment! So, this week we're supposed to be sharing our nerdly passions, which is basically just an excuse for Chloe and I to rave about LeakyCon and brag and make all the rest of you feel bad for not going there. Nana nana boo boo, stick your head in doo doo. We went to Leaky, which is a thing you didn't do-oo. Okay, I'm ashamed. Okay, so anyway, I could probably brag and boast about a lot of cool stuff, like how some authors seemed impressed with my commentary in the panels, or how John Green got to promise a visit to Michigan soon if he could manage it, or how he personalized my copy of Paper Towns, and I'm totally bragging now, aren't I? Okay, so skipping past that, I do have a couple of stories that I want to tell. One about how I feel, and one about how other people probably felt. And the first story here is of John Green and the elevator orgasm. So Facets, I'm just chilling with my date, and sitting between a pair of elevators at the far side of the room. Now this is your basic elevator room with the sliding doors lining the walls and nerd fighters pretending they're in episodes of Star Trek every time I step between those sliding doors. So anyway, Green finishes up with his signing, and he makes his way out of that room and into the hall, and he pauses to talk to a couple of nerd fighters. And then he finishes crossing the hall as the elevator door right beside me opens. So John, seeing a choice empty elevator, walks right in front of me to step in. I'm talking like crotch-grabbing distance. I didn't try any crotch-grabbing myself because I do not like restraining orders, but when you consider what that distance might be like, that's somewhere between an awkward hug with Voldemort distance and passionately kissing an upside-down Spider-Man distance. And that's pretty cool. So Green's in the elevator, and these two girls whip into the room from outside the hall there. Now, it hasn't been so short a time that they could have seen John Green go into this room and they knew he was in there, but it was also long enough that Green's elevator doors hadn't closed yet either. Now, these girls, one of them wearing a Pizza John shirt, I should add, they're in a hurry to get wherever it is that they're going. And so they see the open elevator, and Pizza John girl says, "There's one!" And she's gesturing to this open elevator right beside me, and they both beat feet into this elevator. Now, Pizza John girl hasn't exactly realized what she has just done yet, and she looks to her left, and she says something that I cannot hear to her friend, and then she looks forward, and as she does so, she sees him. In fact, it's at this point that she does this thing that I wish I could recreate for you, but it was really too splendidly awkward for me to do that. Basically, picture a relatively incredibly cute girl wearing John Green's mildly pedophilic face on her chest, realizing that she has stepped into an elevator with John Green. And what this girl does is, basically her knees buckle at the same time that the rest of her legs decide that now is a good time to jump. And she also does this gasp thing and tries to cover her mouth at the same time, which basically resulted in her awkwardly eating half of her hand. So nerd fighters, Facets, I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to ask you, what do you do at this point? You have just discovered a fascinating new dance which involves jumping and falling at the same time, and you are meticulously nomming half your hand, and just to make sure that John Green gets the right impression of you, the last thing anybody hears outside that elevator as the doors close is, "Oh my God!" And I mean it. I want to keep the conversation going. So I want some answers. What do you do right here? How do you feel? Are you jealous towards this girl who more or less got some alone time with John Green, or just embarrassed for her, or maybe a mixture of both? I think I'm mostly embarrassed for John, and I think I'll get into that now. Facets, when I was in the line that you need to be in order to make one's nerd fighting swag into signed nerd fighting swag, the thing I was most excited about getting signed was my copy of Paper Towns. Paper Towns was the first book by Green that I'd ever read, and even though I was fairly into the videos and stuff before, I wasn't an avid nerd fighter until after I'd finished reading it. John Green had always been kind of a hero of mine, and while I was standing there, waiting in line for my turn to come, I kept thinking, I'm so close. I'm 10 feet from John Green. I'm 15 feet from John Green. I'm 8 feet from John Green. Oh my God, he's going to sign my stuff next. Please don't faint, please don't faint, please don't faint. Come on, legs, you can do it, please don't faint. And then he signed my stuff, and we had a pretty cool talk for about 20 seconds before we moved on to the next person, and it was cool. And at random points throughout the con, I would just open my bag and pull out my newly signed copy of Paper Towns and I think that he touched it that same day, that his hand touched one end and my hand touched another, and that maybe, if I was lucky, the book had absorbed some of both of our atoms so that parts of us could be intermingling, and man, do I sound creepy right now. But that's why I'm embarrassed for him, and also a little ashamed of myself. John Green is a deep, conscious, thinking human being with morals and ideals and flaws and dreams and a son. He is a father and a husband and a friend for many, many other people, and it is only after these things that he is an author or a vlogger. And Facets, up until LeakyCon, I'd only ever thought of him as one of those two things. To me, he was only the person who appeared on my computer screen once, twice, 3 times a week to put a smile on my face and dance about for my amusement. I had only thought of him as this brilliantly incredible author who had written powerful words that had shaken my core. Facets, it's easy for us to remember that our heroes are heroes, but it is also very, very easy for us to forget that they are men. And as time went on at the con, and the Pizza John elevator girl had her Johngasm in that warm, secluded space, wherein she may have made a friend if she hadn't already been so close with awkwardness, and as I looked at the book that taught and showed me so much, I realized that I had been ignoring the moral of it all along. Facets, it is a treacherous thing to believe that a person is more than a person, and I am going to do my best to make sure that I don't ignore that again. Reagan, I'll see you on Wednesday.